What I'm calling the young player takeover has commenced on the Carolina Panthers. The young guys are no longer looking to the vets saying, what do you think we should do? They're saying, get out of my way, let me show you. And I love it. And the coaches need to get behind it. If you want to frustrate Dennis Cox, I'm going to tell you what to do. Dennis Cox, our producer, I'm going to tell you what to do.
Okay.
Just bring up David Moore and Jalen Coker's snaps percentages from this past game.
Don't get me started.
That's all it takes. Because Jalen Coker might be your diamond in the rough. Jalen Coker might be the type of player that helps the Panthers get from the basement to the middle class. I'm not even getting crazy. But if you're going to improve, you need to find undrafted players that turn into contributors on very, very low contracts. Jalen Coker might be that dude. David Moore, who's a journeyman that has spent time with Dave Canales in multiple locations, not that dude. I want darn near every single target to go to Xavier Legette, Jalen Coker, or Jadeveon Sanders. If you want to, you want to mix someone in out of the backfield, fine. If that's Jonathon Brooks once he returns, all the better. If you want to toss a couple to Mingo just to make sure you're 100% certain on what he is or isn't, I'm fine with that. I don't need to see another pass to Ian Thomas. I don't need to see another pass to David Moore. I don't need to see another pass to anyone other than the young guys. Jadeveon Sanders is doing what we knew he would do. He's the best pass-catching tight end on the team. He might be one of the best pass-catching tight ends in the league, and I don't say that lightly. He was my favorite pick in their draft this past year, top of the 4th round. He had 4 catches for 87 yards on Sunday, including one sweet hurdle and run after the catch up the sideline. Jadeveon Sanders, after the game, talked about hurdling over a fully grown adult human NFL player during the play.
Just trying to give us some momentum going to that third quarter. I know Tyron wasn't going to hit me up top. Like, he's not that type of player, like to hit somebody up top, especially, tight end. And I had it in my mind the whole time I was running the ball. I was like, I got to get over him. So I just tried to make a play, and it turned out in my favor.
Jadeveon Sanders was a beast. Get him the ball more. Jalen Coker, who, by the way, I'm going in order of leading receiving yards in the game. Jadeveon Sanders led the team. Next up, Jalen Coker. 2 catches, 36 yards. It's more important than that, though. He had I call it a climb the ladder catch on a deep crosser early in the game that I believe was quintessential, was pivotal towards Bryce Young being more confident in that game. Because I'm going to be honest with you, Jalen Coker drops the ball, or I don't even want to call it a drop. If he's not able to make the catch, that's not Jalen Coker's fault, right?
It wasn't the well-placed ball.
He was trying to put a little touch on it, which I like, right? A lot of young quarterbacks don't. Trying to hit him in space, but he overthrew it a little bit. Coker made the catch. If he drops it, everybody goes, man, Bryce, you got to put it on him. He makes the catch. Now you're rolling. Now you get a new set of downs. Now you get more throws. That play was pivotal towards the rest of the game for Bryce. Xavier Legette, 3rd on the team in receiving yards. Oh, by the way, all of these guys are rookies. 4 for 33 yards, including a touchdown. That touchdown continues to show that Bryce and Legette have great red zone chemistry. 2nd straight week, they found each other in the end zone. Doesn't have to be a 50-yarder. I'd like for it to be. But when the windows get small, they find each other. And it's not just offense. It's not. You may think it is. It's not. Defensively, who led the team in tackles? The defensive version of Jalen Coker. Damani Richardson for the 2nd straight week. By the way, he's only started twice. 2nd straight week, led the team in tackles. Shaw Smith-Wade, 6 tackles from the secondary. Trevin Wallace, 5 tackles, including a tackle for a loss. And guess who made the tackle? 3rd down, end of the game. So Bryce Young in the offense, led by those guys we just talked about, score too quickly. They get the ball with 3 minutes and change, need to score a touchdown to win the game. They score where it's like, whoa, didn't think it was going to be that easy. They score too fast. Saints get the ball. Defense ends up backing up their quarterback and force a turnover on downs. Guess who made the tackle on 3rd down? Caleb Farley. played 6 defensive snaps. A guy that was a first-round pick by the Titans, never caught his footing, dealt with bad injuries and tragedy off the field. He is a North Carolina guy, born, raised in North Carolina, goes out there. That might be tougher than anything. You're going to be a secondary member when the opposing team is in we got to chuck it mode. You're going to get put into the game having played almost never for your current team, and you're going to have to make a game-saving or at least a game-helping to seal. Game-saving is not the right way to put it. A helping to seal the game tackle, and he does it. Keep looking for diamonds in the rough. I almost want to set like a 27-year-old age limit on the Panthers. I want to put a barrier. If you're older than 27, sorry. J.C. Horn, 24. Michael Jackson, 27, the 2 corners. How about this for one of the craziest stats I've ever heard? According to Next Gen Stats, which does all the GPS tracking and pass charts and everything else, per NFL Next Gen Stats, both outside corners, J.C. Horn and Michael Jackson, on the Panthers defense, allowed 0 receptions as the nearest defender.
Yeah, they were good yesterday.
Now,
they really were.
Again, full context, Saints were not very good. And once Chris Olave was knocked out of the game by what I consider a pretty dirty hit from Xavier Woods, the next, what was it, Tipton and
some
Cedric
other guy?
Tillman, not Cedric Tillman, Cedric Wilson were the next 2 wide receivers for the Saints. So it's not like they were guarding Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson out there, but they did their job. Young player takeover. Everyone I just mentioned, aside from Michael Jackson, and I just threw him in there because that stat is bananas. Everyone that I just mentioned is on their rookie contract. That is a core that you build off of next year that is cheap. That is necessary in the NFL to get out of the basement. Do you know what's the next step? Dave Canales has to stop treating them like children. Trust them. If there's a 2 wide receiver set, it is Xavier Legette and Jalen Coker. If there is a deep ball that you've set up with your play calling, trust Bryce Young to throw it. If he doesn't, cool, it's a piece of information. Write it down, remember it, use it in your plans for the future. But you got 2 wins. Throw it. Call the right plays. These young guys might surprise you. There are a few things I'm starting to pick up on, or I've picked up on, and I keep being reinforced when it comes to Dave Canales. He is the equivalent of a college coach that doesn't start anyone who's an underclassman. You know, hey, if you work hard and you train in the offseason and you take these scraps and blowout minutes and do well with it, maybe as a junior, you'll get to start and finish games. Up until then, you're nothing but a body for us at practice. Only he's in the NFL. The fact that they haven't decided whether they're going to name Bryce Young or Andy Dalton the starter, to me, that's Dave Canales saying, yeah, I want to be able to call my whole playbook, and I can't do that with a young guy, so I might go back to Andy Dalton. David Moore, playing out there over Jalen Coker, is saying, I have a relationship with this guy going back years. Actually, you know what this is? It just struck me. It is the most frustrating part about getting a job out of college. Where you look up an entry-level job on the job market and they say you need 5 years experience. When they're going, like, I can't get experience until you give me a job. And I need experience to get the job, to get the experience. So what they, like, Jalen Coker, Xavier Legette, Jadeveon Sanders, all of these young guys, Bryce Young, can't prove to you that they have the experience necessary to be successful if you don't play them. You're just going to end up with old guys rather than the right guys. And by the way, they're going to make mistakes. Let's not act like everybody was perfect. Xavier Legette's got to know once he catches the ball, squeeze that bad boy like his life depends on it. Don't let the defensive back rip it away. Like there are things to learn, but they won't get the experience. They won't know those things if they don't go out there and play. Young player takeover started like against the will of the coach. You're giving Jalen Coker a fourth of the snaps that you're giving David Moore, and he's making 3 times the plays that David Moore is making. So they're going to force their way anyway. Xavier Legette down in the red zone's making more plays. Jadeveon Sanders, is there anyone out there that thinks Ian Thomas could make the play that Jadeveon Sanders made on the sideline?
No.
Now, if Ian Thomas is in there to block, fine. But I would almost say, or teach Jadeveon Sanders to block. Let him be the versatile piece that can attach to the line of scrimmage and be an extra blocker, or the guy that can get out there and run. Same is true on defense. I want Trevin Wallace blitzing more. Why? Because he's fast. And I just want to see what that be like. You know what I mean? I just want to know.
He's the one rookie that's been getting the most snaps. Again, a lot of it out of necessity because Josie Jewell was hurt for a while and Shaq Thompson's done for the year. But Trevin Wallace is playing, like for example, he played 69 of 79 snaps yesterday on defense. 87%.
And he needs to be.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to, I guess would be the better way to put that. There's no reason not to. Or DeMond Richardson as well over the last 2 games has been playing a bunch.
He played every single snap on defense yesterday and last week. Richardson did.
So there you go. Now has 152 snaps total on defense, 67 on special teams from earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. Let that guy run. He finishes plays. Young people, young person, take over.